Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When I was first elected to this body, and as I read the rules, this was one rule that perplexed me, the additional 10 minutes of debate. You see, I first learned about parliamentary procedure back in high school in the FFA. We use Stewart's Manual. I've been in organizations that use Robert's Rules of Order. We use Mason's Rules here in the House of Representatives. And in every one of those versions of those parliamentary procedures, when you make a motion for previous question and it passes, that means the debate ends and the vote is taken. Now, there have been a lot of comments on this floor about trying to silence people, about trying to limit democracy. I have carried several bills on the floor of this House where I have stood for 2 or 3 hours, a long time. You know what I'm talking about? I don't mind that. Nobody is trying to discourage debate. We encourage debate. The rule of previous question is to be used on those rare occasions. If we're here on the last day before the veto period ends at 11:45 at night, and if we're debating the budget bill, I guarantee you I am going to support a motion for previous question so we can pass that budget so I can ensure to my people we have the right to override the line item vetoes in the budget. That's what this is for. That's actually allowing us to speak for our people. There have been a lot of stories shared. I'm going to share a story in my first year in this session, in this floor, serving in the minority. I don't think it would be a shock to any of you if I told you I'm very much pro-life in my beliefs. There was a bill that had been in committee for a long time. It didn't get posted, wasn't going to be considered. It was a pro-life piece of legislation. So I signed on to a discharge petition. That discharge petition was filed properly, and the proper way for that to come out to the floor was during motions, petitions, and communications the next day. The next day comes about, the former speaker yields to a member of this body. They get up and start reading a book. They yield to another member of this body. They read from a different book. When they get done, the speaker says the time for motions, petitions, communications are over. I know exactly what happened that day. They used that discussion to prevent us in the minority from calling that motion for a discharge petition because they didn't want to take the vote on the floor. Unfortunately, we're elected officials in a very political body. Let's start off right this session. We've got so many issues that are so important to Kentucky. And I guarantee you, I'll give you my word that this issue of previous questions should only be used in very, very rare occasions. It's not to be used to limit debate. It's not about taking away democracy or somebody's voice for their constituents. But it is a tool that from time to time needs to be used when the situation presents itself. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.